Hello, I'm Mrs. Considine and welcome to the Super Sentence Stacking Classroom. Now, I'm a specialist in teaching writing and I'm here to help you with your writing today. I'm so glad that you found your way here into the classroom. Now, how does it work? Because I know we've got some new pupils who've just arrived for the first time today, so welcome, and you are all very welcome. Every day we come together to do some writing, and together we breathe life onto a blank page. We really think about our language because we love language, and we weave wonderful words together as a whole community across the UK and beyond, so that we write a story for the nation every single day, and I read it out at 3:30. Now, what we're going to do today is really focus on our sentences. And Mrs. C asks you every day, every school day, to challenge yourself to write 9 sentences. That's the task. But within that, I also give you 3 writing challenges. And soon I'm going to talk about what those challenges are. Now, we are all part of a writing family, a big writing community. And what I need you to do today is listen first about how it's organised, and then I'm going to set you off to do 2 things actually, to watch a film and then do some writing. Now, you are all my writing apprentices and I'm here to help. I won't leave you lonely. I'm going to really give you lots of guidance on how you can breathe life into your page so that it's vivid and engaging and interesting. Okay, I'd like you to click and subscribe so I know you're a super sentence stacker and your teachers know you're a super sentence stacker. And of course, it'd be great as well if you can ring my bell so that I can tell and you can tell when learning is happening and it's alive and well right here. Okay. What I'm going to do now is explain how super sentence stacking works. Every day we have a film focus, and in a moment I'm going to tell you what that film is. In fact, you can look in the description below because our film today is called Lost and Found. We always choose a short animation. It's really important that you follow the link because I think there's a couple of animations out there called Lost and Found, and I want to make sure you've got the right one. So in the description below, you can see what film we're all going to be looking at across the country. Once you've watched the film, I want to let you know what I've done. I've watched the film, and as I've watched it, in my mind, I've sorted it into sections. I call these sections plot points or chunks, and there are 9. There are always 9. And after I send you off to watch the film, in the back of your mind, I want you to be thinking like a writer. I want you to think which section inspired you, grabbed your attention. You felt like, as a viewer, you really stuck to it. That's when I want you to choose your chunk. But it's really important when you choose a chunk. You have to choose one of the chunks that we have cut up for you. So you can choose chunk 1 or chunk 3 or chunk 9. And your writing has to stay within that time chunk. So for example, it might be you'll be writing from 0.3 seconds all the way up to 1 minute and 23 seconds, and you write within that chunk. Now, once you've chosen a chunk, I then want you to think about the writing challenges. And Mrs. C is always going to give you a challenge that is coming from the writing rainbow. Many of your teachers know about the writing rainbow, and I'm going to give you a challenge that might be an idea of writing, a grammar of writing, or a technique of writing. You have got then until 12:30 to write up to 9 sentences, including the 3 writing challenges, and you need to get your writing back into me with your name, full name, your age, and by 12:30, and I will choose the most eloquent and expressive, and I will build them into the nation's story, and then I'll meet you in our reading room so that we can all listen along. Well, I'm so pleased to see so many new people here in the classroom, and I know there are some grown-ups and some teachers too, and you are most welcome. Okay, I think we should get going with today's learning, because I know that you are ready to weave some words into some wonderful sentences. I'm excited to learn, and you're ready to write. Okay, we are all a big super sentence stackers classroom, so make sure you get your writing into me on Facebook or Twitter later, and you use the hashtag super sentence stackers, so I know that you want to be counted in the nation's story. Okay, our film today is called Lost and Found, and in a moment Mrs. C is going to do some demonstration writing for chunk 7. You can choose one chunk yourself, between 1 and 9. It really doesn't matter which one you choose, as long as I know which one it is, so that I can build it back together. Now, here are today's writing challenges. First thing I'm going to ask you to do today, and you can make a jotting of this if you want, I'm going to ask you to write a sentence jam-packed with action. You know, you might say an action-packed sentence, and we're going to do that in a really clever way. We're going to use a technique called the power of 3, and we're going to snuggle up 3 powerful verbs together ending in ing, and I'm going to help you and show you exactly what I mean. The second challenge today is all about alliteration. We're going to inject into a sentence words with the same sound, particularly at the beginning of words. So we are going to jam-pack a sentence with the same sounds, so it has high stickability and rhythm and interest when we read it. And the third writing challenge today, and in fact we're going to do a bit of this in other places as well, I'm going to ask you to write an inner thought sentence. I want you to write about what the character is thinking. This enables your writing to be more interesting, because you're actually getting inside the character's mind, all those mental state verbs. So yeah, we're going to look at inner thought, and we're going to drench our sentences with those thinking words. As we are one big learning family, I'm now going to show you in a lot of detail how to build a really good action-packed sentence. Then we're going to move on to alliteration, and then I'm going to finish with inner thought. As I do that, one of the things that is really important that you do now is watch Mrs. C, because now I am going to do some demonstration writing. It is really important that you watch this bit, because this is where you're going to see my thinking. I'm going to model my choices, and you're going to look inside the writer's brain. You're going to see me do two things at once. I am going to be writing, but you're also going to see my thinking. It's almost like I'm going to make the invisible visible. And you're going to see me tussle with words and choose and change and explore and reject and improve. And I want you to also be that writer. Be the writer who is not only thinking about what's on the page, but also checking out yourself. Is this the most vivid choice? Is this the best choice? Is this the most expressive choice? Another thing you're going to see Mrs. C do, and it's a really important life skill. I know many adults who really lean on this to improve their writing. It's called thesaurus thinking. And that's when Mrs. C grabs a word and then builds other words in that synonym family with the same meaning. And as I build them on my shadometer, I think, which word is the best one here that I want to drop into my writing? So, there's a lot to listen to as I model these sentences, but I know, and I really do know, I can rely on you to be active learners now, listening in, because it's this listening here that will really improve your writing down the line. Okay, Mrs. C is going to imagine, just so you know, I am choosing chunk 7. I've written chunk 7 on my writing, and I'm also going to make sure I put my name and my age. Okay, Mrs. C, age 47. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to concentrate thinking about chunk 7, and we all need to agree at this point, really important, who our characters are called, because we need to write a communal story. So I'm going to let you know that we are going to write a third-person narrative, and our dinosaur is going to be called Dino, and our fox is going to be called Fifi. They are our characters today, and that means we'll be using words like he, she, Dino, and Fifi. So the pronouns he and she, maybe we might need the pronoun they, and the character names Dino and Fifi. The only time we will slip out a third-person narrative is if we want to capture some inner thought. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, I'm going to start now with action. And there you can see the running legs, action-packed. And I'm going to gather verbs ending in ing. And this is the part of the film when Dino is doing all he can to save Fifi, and his body is really extending out. So I'm going to think about that word, extending. I want to start now with 3 ing verbs right next to each other. So there's that real urgent sense of action. But before I know which words to do, I'm going to go over to my shadometer to do some thesaurus thinking. Okay, I'm going to start off by writing that word, extending, extending. I'm going to think about other words in that synonym family. Reaching, pushing, oh, I like that. And then maybe something else like stretching. Oh, they're all good. I'm going to choose now my 3 favourite to open this sentence. I like reaching, reaching. I'm going to do a list of 3 here. Reaching, stretching is good next, I think. Stretching, pushing. And I now need to tell the reader who is doing all of this hard work. Well, it's actually Dino. Reaching, stretching, pushing. And I want to finish now. So the reader knows how hard Dino is working. Reaching, stretching, pushing. Dino it's almost like here he realises it's so important. So I'm going to do some thesaurus thinking actually with the word realised. This realised is an inner thought, mental state verb. So I'm just going to see if I can get some other words in that synonym family on my shadometer. Realised, oh, that's good. Dino knew. Dino understood. These are good words. Dino recognised. Oh, they all work actually. And then we get a sense of what's happening to Dino. Okay, I think I'm going to have knew. Dino knew, back to the sentence, reaching, stretching, pushing. Dino knew he would, it's something like would have to hurt himself, would have to risk something. Dino knew he would have to sacrifice. Oh, it's a tricky word. I'm going to sound it out. Sacrifice himself. Oh, that is my first sentence. I'm really pleased with these 3 ing action verbs, like that high movement at the beginning. And then my mental state verb there, knew. I like it. I'm going to read it back. Reaching, stretching, pushing. Dino knew he would have to sacrifice himself. So we're getting this sense of all the risk, all the negativity. It's quite a sad part here. Right, my next writing challenge is alliteration. I need to do some thinking about a really good sound I could use at the beginning of this. And I want to take this idea that they are friends. So I could build around this early sound here other words that show how positive their friendship is. Let me have a little think over here. Friendship is all about positive feelings. And I'm going to think about words in that family that show how good friends they have become. I'm going to start with favourite friend. Yeah, Fifi was his favourite friend. was his finest friend. Fifi was his most fascinating friend. Fascinating friend. Fifi was his most favourable friend. And all of those words have the same sound. Oh, I like that. When you use alliteration, it gives high stickability, read aloudness. I love it. Okay, I've got some good ideas there. And I'm going to build now a sentence that shows the reader what their friendship means. Okay. Fifi, oh, the little fox Fifi, and isn't she adorable? Fifi was his first friend. I'm going to do a few sentences here to build up that similarity in sound. Fifi was his first friend. Oh, look how I use a pattern. Watch really closely here. I want you to see if you can see it. Fifi was his first friend. Fifi was his first and I'm going to choose one of those words up there. First and finest friend. Can you see how I kept the same structure but added in another alliterative word? Fifi was his first friend. Fifi was his first and finest friend. Roald Dahl does this structure a lot in his writing. If you look in BFG, Big Friendly Giant, he writes like this all the time. It's really clever. Fifi was his first friend. Fifi was his first and finest friend. Fifi was his first, I'm going to do it like a list, I think, here. First, finest, and then I'm going to add a third thing on. And he was, look at this other little glimmer of alliteration coming in here. And he was so fond. He was so fond of her. Oh, look, I nearly made a pronoun glitch there. He was so fond of her face. Wow. I think we've done that, don't you? Hit it at the back of the net. It's drenched in the same sounds. Well done, Mrs. C. I think you've done alliteration. Okay, my final writing challenge. I've done a little bit of inner thought, but I really want to now almost hear the inner thoughts, almost like the characters talking, but they're not talking. So I'm now going to slip from third person narrative and I'm just going to step inside Dino's mind. And I really want to think about what Dino might be thinking at this moment. Something like, I'll be there for you. Hold on tight, Fifi. Hang on. I'll save you. Oh, I like something like that. I'll save you. Oh, I know what I could do. And then it would link into a later part of the film. I can save you and you can save me. And then I'm going to show the reader its inner thought. So I'm going to put Dino, and then I need, thought is okay, but I'm going to see if I can get a few more. Let me have a little think. So I need some kind of mental state verbs. I could have thought, I could have dreamt, I could have hoped. Oh, that's good. Hoped feels like it's evocative and has got the right tone, but so does wished. Oh, they're both good. I think I'm going to have hoped. I can save you and you can save me. Dino hoped. Full stop. And dropping in there, inner thought for the central character. Thank you for listening in there to demonstration writing, where you see me start with a blank page and we breathe life into words. And then we build it and we build our chunk up. What I need you to do, guys, is choose your chunk and build your writing up. Then you're going to hand it in to me by 12:30 with the hashtag Super Sentence Stackers. It must have your name and your age on so I can count you in. And I'm going to bind it together in a wonderful story that we've all taken part in. We're going to craft and construct it, a story for the nation, and that's why you've got to ring my bell so you can tell when I'm back in the story room ready to read our community-built story. I have been so pleased you've turned up today, and actually I can see that you're ready for this. I will take writing from your mums and your dads as well, and teachers. So I'm looking out for writing from all ages, and we really are going to do some try your best writing. I'm going to leave you now with the 3 jobs of go and watch the film Lost and Found. Go and get cozy, go and get comfortable, enjoy it. Number 2, choose your chunk. Look in the YouTube link below to make sure you stay in your time boundaries. And once you've chosen your chunk, I challenge you to write up to 9 sentences, but I want you to include action, alliteration, and some inner thoughts. Thank you so much, Super Sentence Stackers, and I will see you later at 3:30 in the story room. Thank you very much, everybody. See you later. Bye.